2020. You know why you're here? So let's kick this off right the second time and introduce the players. Hey, I'm Gerissar, a PvP Padawan.
Hey everyone, I'm Andallyn, and welcome a second time to the show.
Indeed. When in doubt, do it a second time.
That's right.
Unfortunately, Windstead isn't here again tonight. And so, as you guys have probably noticed, Windstead hasn't been available recently for the last few episodes. And we were talking behind the scenes a little bit, and he's decided to take some other priorities, make some other things a priority in his life, primarily his family. And of course, his work, as we've always known, has been fairly busy and is ramping back up. So it is sad to say that Windstead has agreed. Well, he thinks that he's not going to be able to make it back this time. So unfortunately, it's going to be just me and Andallyn for the next little bit. We'll see how that goes. But we'll say Windstead is going to be missed.
He's lost in the Shadowlands.
He's lost. Yes.
Yes.
It's hopefully we'll be able to find him. Hopefully he wasn't dropped into the maw like Arthas.
Yeah, right.
That'd be sad.
But anyway,
I heard a little laugh in the background there. Andallyn, do you want to introduce our guest?
sure, guys. So with us today we have the Ret Paladin himself, Pikachu. Hey, man, how are you doing today?
Hey man, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be on the show for the first time, and yeah, I'm really excited. I'll let you guys talk more because I'm really unsure.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it. So, I bet you a lot of our viewers and listeners are curious a little bit about who you are. So, could you take maybe a minute or two, tell us a little bit about your WoW experience, maybe how you got involved playing the game, what kind of experience you have playing, and tell us about who you are.
Sure, I can do that. I started playing WoW really, really early on. Like I'm only 21 years old, and I got into WoW because of my father, because he used to play like already back in vanilla, and he quit in mob. And like in vanilla, when I was like probably 6, 7 years old, I watched him a lot when he played. And in TBC, I made my own character for the first time, and that was my paladin.
Nice.
And since then, I've been pretty much playing paladin, but I haven't really played like lots of, like, not really serious. All I did was like level some characters around, mess around a bit, and I started to get into PvP around Kata. That was the first time I did my arenas with my dad. Like he played a warlock, I played my paladin. I mean, we just played double DPS, so it didn't really go that well, and we were both like, I was still clicking. I got into keybinds in mob. Like I was a big
That's
noob until
awesome.
mob. And yeah, in mob I started to improve a lot. I got into keybinding thanks to a friend. He showed me how to do it and like helped me get into it.
Legendary.
And yeah, and I got into arenas like really deep in mob. I started playing low level twink arenas at level 70 and 85, and towards the end of mob I started playing max level arenas. I got my first 2.2 rating in mob and even 2.5 later on.
Oh, nice.
And then in VOD in season 1 I got my first gladiator title, but I was a Holy Pally main until Legion, so I got my first glad title as Holy Pally actually. And in Legion I rerolled Ret Paladin because Holy Pallies, they got pruned a lot. Like we lost many cool spells I really liked.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I just didn't enjoy playing it much. Like I played it a bit for the first season, but after like a few weeks I was like, nah, I'm not really enjoying it. So I decided to try out Red. And since then I've been hooked to Red and I've been playing it, and since in Legion I managed to get rank 1 every season so far until now, and even this season I'll most likely get it. And yeah,
I think
pretty much
you're one of the highest rated Ret Paladins in BFA, right?
yeah, like people they see me as like one of the top Reds. I've been always on the top of the ladder as a Red, especially also in twos. Like I'm one of there's almost no other Reds in twos, especially. Like I've been always the highest rated Red in twos, and sometimes also threes. But there's also other great Reds, obviously, that are sometimes higher than me. And yeah, that's how people got to know me, because I've always been I've always been doing really well as a red, and I've also been playing a really like off-meta comp that I got my rank ones on.
Okay.
So that made people also more interested, because usually people that play red, they play like, with a hunter and a priest
Right.
and stuff like that. And I've played like red and sub rogue and the holy pally. Like we were 2 pallies and the sub rogue.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I've been doing really well as that comp. I got all my rank ones with it, and yeah, I'm still
Wow.
playing that.
So,
Same team.
so what drew you to Paladin, or maybe more specifically, because you started out as Holy, what made you go Ret Paladin? And why is the Paladin like that class for you?
I'm not sure. I think many people can agree on that. It's like warriors are cool, but I feel like
Yeah.
paladins are just like warriors but cooler.
Yeah.
Like they're basically warriors, but
Asmongold might disagree, but
holy
that,
power.
whatever.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Like I don't know, paladins have always been to me like the basically warriors, but like with like extra stuff, like with holy powers, they can heal, they have
Yeah.
magic, they can also be like in melee combat and all that. Like I don't know. For
They
me,
can
it has
kill
always been
things.
a better version of warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I always liked the fantasy behind it.
Yeah.
That's
Very
why I picked
cool.
red.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoy the fantasy behind all the paladin things. It's really fun, and being like a soldier and of the light. That's just so. Plus, their gear just looks cooler too. I mean, let's be honest, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, Gerissar, let's talk a little bit about what we've been up to.
Yes, please. Sorry. You guys are busy doing this. In the meantime, I'm busy doing stuff in the background, trying to liaise with some of the lovely staff over at Warcraft Radio, just trying to set some stuff up because we're going to be doing some beta key giveaways during the show today.
Ooh.
So just trying to make sure that's lined up. But other than that, let's hear what else have I'll be honest. I have really not been playing a lot of WoW. I've logged on long enough just to play around with some pet battle stuff with you, Andallyn. that was fun, and that was in preparation for the tournament that I've decided that I'm going to try hosting on the 26th. And other than that, like maybe log on to do some auction house stuff, but I've just been swamped. Just so I said a couple episodes ago, I recently just moved. That's a double. Anyway, yeah. So I recently moved. Still unpacking boxes, and so just been trying to do that. So it's been really busy in life. I don't think I got. I didn't even cap conquest points to get a chest this week. So. How about you, though? Andallyn, what have you been up to these last couple weeks, buddy?
Man, I'm the same thing. I haven't even bothered getting the chest just because it's not worth it to me right now. It's just not. So, I mean, maybe on some characters, but I'm working on just figuring out what I'm going to do for Shadowlands, and I think now I've kind of set my sights, pun intended, on a marksmanship hunter because, dude, I've been playing it on beta a little bit, and it looks and feels so fun. I'm totally ready for this. I know. I said warrior. I know, but I think that the marksmanship hunter is going to be a little bit of a better fit. So I mean, I'm going to try them both out, but I'm just saying I'm thinking that's where I'm gonna go. I really enjoyed playing BM Hunter just a few months ago, still in 8.3. And I was kind of like, man, I just wish I could play like marksmanship. That would be so much more fun. I feel like, and everything that's coming back to marksmanship hunter with what's it called?
Yes.
With the arrow, hunter's mark being baseline for all 3 specs, and especially some of the abilities that marksmanship hunter is going to have going forward into 9.0. It feels really good. It feels really fun, especially with their covenant choices and their Venthyr options.
So what covenant are you thinking about doing that?
The Venthyr one, the flayed shot that's going to put a dot on you and let you use kill shot. Literally, randomly, it's got like a 60% uptime. It's huge. It's insane. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, and then I've just
because you chose that because of that reason they're going to nerf it just because of that, right?
Nah, they're gonna nerf the sub rogue bone spike, man.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah. There's
That
no
needs to
way
happen.
there's no way that's staying into live servers. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, in true Blizzard fashion, what they'll do is they'll nerf like Soul Rot by the Night Fae from Affliction Warlocks that already isn't good, and they'll be like, this needed a nerf, and they'll buff Bone Spike or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it will be what 9.1.5 when they switch that around.
Yeah, I'd be like, wait a second, how did they get here? Yeah.
Yeah. We never figured that out.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's uncomfortable just laughing about it because it's true.
Just kind of shudder. Yeah.
Pika, what about you, buddy? What have you been up to these last couple weeks?
I mean, not really much. I've been playing retail a lot, obviously. I've been pushing for rank 1 on both my pallies, so I've been grinding arenas a lot.
Nice.
Oh wow, yeah.
I've also been streaming lots of 2s and some of my 3s as well.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what I've been really doing the past weeks. Like, it's always, like, the last weeks of a season are always really stressful. Like, everyone wants to queue all the time, get the wins, get the rating.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you can get rank 1. And yeah.
Well, everybody's hoping to get rank 1.
Yeah, like the like 2-3 months ago, the queues had been pretty dead, but now that rank, like, they know the season is about to end, everyone is like now rushing.
That's
queue,
true.
queue, queue.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I've been queuing a lot lately, and yeah, that's what I've been doing the past weeks, honestly.
Makes sense.
Streaming and pushing arenas.
Good for you, man.
Awesome. Hey, just so if anybody wants to find you, where do you what's your stream channel?
It's just Twitch TV/Pika_Pala. That's
Fair enough.
Just like your Twitter. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Just Pika Pala, Pika_Pala. That's it.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well, and we'll have links for that at the end of the show notes here for when we get this out. All right. I can only imagine just how much people are probably pushing that because I know everybody's waiting on bated breath of when Blizzard's going to announce the pre-patch. Because if I'm not mistaken, when the pre-patch hits, that's going to be end of the season, right? So
yeah.
So I'm just imagine people are probably pretty anxious to get their rating up. So
Yeah, exactly. Like, the season's most likely gonna end as pre-patch hits. Like,
Yeah.
it's very unlikely that they're gonna hit a big new expansion and keep the season going. So yeah, it will most likely end as the pre-patch hits.
I thought they already said that was what was going to happen when pre-patch drops. The season's going to end.
Yeah. Yes.
They usually end it as the pre-patch hits. But yeah.
Yeah. Because then they don't open it up until later on into the expansion because they want people to have plenty of time to level 1, maybe 2 characters to max level, play the game, experience the content. They don't want you to rush through the content so that you can be the first to hit the ladder or something like that. Yeah.
But it happens anyways.
I mean, what they sometimes do during the pre-patch, they add like they keep rated arenas, like they reset it and let you keep rated arenas during the pre-patch. But I mean, that's gonna be reset, of course, as the actual expansion hits.
Right.
But
Yes.
they add it sometimes so people have something to do during the pre-patch. Because sometimes people are bored. But yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I remember they started doing that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right then. Hey, Andallyn.
Hey.
You think it's time to roll on to the next segment?
Yeah, let's go in. We'll roll into the Need Greed Pass.
This likely won't be a clean fight, so keep your distance, eh?
All right, so this week's Need Greed Pass, it's going to be a doozy.
Am I going to regret giving this to you?
I'm going to let you be the judge of that, but yes is the answer to that question. So, Need Greed Pass. Pika, for what we do here in this segment, essentially, I'm going to be giving you 3 options. In this case, Blizzard is adding a new race to World of Warcraft, right? As if we need another. But they're adding a new race, and it's usable for both factions, all right? You're going to pick which one you want to need on, which one you want to greed on, and which one you're going to pass. Okay?
Okay.
You can only need on one, you can only greed on one, and you can only pass on one. Okay?
Okay.
So, here are your 3 races for the need, greed, and pass. All right? You have the Jinyu, the fish people from what's it called? What's the name of that zone?
Pandaria?
No, not Pandaria. They're like the walking fish people. Hold on one second. I haven't pulled up. Here we go. Yeah, they are from the Mist of Pandaria expansion, but it's that that with the Hosen and all that stuff. Yeah. So you have the Jinyu as a possible race. Okay.
Okay.
Second race is the Naga. Always wanted to play a Naga, right?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a fish theme here.
Yes.
This is
third.
getting a little fishy.
Yeah, I know. The third race is the Arakoa. So if you want to come straight out of the Manitombs and have a shirt straight out of Manitombs or whatever, or straight out of Sethic, you know. So those are your three options. You have the Jinyu, the Naga, or the Arakoa as the next race for both factions in WoW.
Oh boy.
Honestly, I think I'm just gonna need on the Naga and Greed on the Akora and probably pass on the fish people.
Yeah.
Because they're basically looking like night elves. They have the same models.
Yeah.
Just the different skin. I don't know. I prefer Nagas and Akora.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely lead on Naga and Greed on Akora, I think.
Okay. Nice. I like it. What now? Now here's the real question: can Naga be paladins?
Ooh. I mean, I guess
Why
it
not?
wouldn't fit at all to the lore. Like Naga being paladins, that sounds really weird.
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool, actually. A Naga paladin with a trident as a sword. That'd be. But the question is when they consecrate the ground, is it just water or is it actually still holy light?
No, it's like seaweed.
Yeah.
It's seaweed.
The Naga consecrated the ground again. Ooh.
All right, Gerissar, what about you, man?
I'm not sure. I mean,
That's
it looks
yeah. That'll be kind of fun. I'm gonna need on the Arakoa.
Nice.
I want to run around as a bird person.
Yes, this is the right
and
answer.
have them just randomly squawk because I still remember doing that.
Yep.
And it would work because that was always one of the big issues. People are always like, okay, well, if Naga become a playable race, what you can't have all the equipment slots. How is a Naga gonna have pants and boots?
Yeah, that's true.
You can't do it, right? So it just doesn't work lore wise. So I have to pass on the Naga. I just can't. I'm gonna therefore I have to greed on the Jinyu, but I'd rather not. I think both of those should be passed. But I mean, if I have to greed on something,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Danged if I do, danged if I don't. But definitely gonna greed. I want to need on those Arakoa. Those things, I love them during TBC. Got a special place in my heart for them. I loved killing them by the numbers going through Sethic halls.
Yeah.
So why not be one? I mean, they never dropped the Raven mount for me anyways. So if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
What a bunch of jerks.
I mean,
Stupid bird people.
if they end up being a playable race, they'd better allow us to buy a reskin color of the Raven Lord's mount. The Raven mount there.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Of course, all the collectors out there would be up in arms about how they farmed the heck out of Sethic halls to try to get that, and you just finally buy it. But I don't care. I want it.
There you go.
Andallyn, how about you, buddy?
All right, man. I'm in your same ballpark here. I'm gonna need on the Arakoa. I like the bird
right.
people. Yep. This is the right answer. I want to have like a scroll bar for what color you want your plumage to be. You know, like I want to get some yellow or some purple plumage or whatever. Customize your bird person. So
Yep.
I'm gonna greed on the Naga because I think that's cool.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pass on the Jinyu.
Really?
I'm gonna pass on the
No one
Jinyu.
likes
No one. Yeah. Let's. I mean. Yeah. I could have made this a little bit more difficult and put Centaur as an option, but That's okay. That's okay.
Yep.
So.
That's okay.
But hey, that's all right. I think Arakoa is the consensus. So,
I think so.
Ian?
Yeah.
Pull the ripcord on the Arakoa.
Ripcord 2.0.
That's right. It is time.
What have we done? Watch it not be 9.0. Watch it be the next expansion after that. Wherever we're going.
Yeah, right? That sounds good.
All right. That was fun. So, just a reminder, once again, people live listening, you can definitely play along. So tell us what you would need, greed, and pass on between those three choices, as well as our listeners at home. What would you need, greed, pass on? Send an email to technicallypvp@gmail.com or tweet us at technically_PvP. And we'd love to hear what your need, greed, and pass is on Andallyn's idea of the next race to be added to World of Warcraft. And while you do that, we'll talk about the upcoming PvP events in our next segment.
Get in there and fight! Stop hiding!
Let's do it.
Yes. So, as always, there's the standard things going on. We got Dalaran Gaming doing his 5v5 1v1. There's also Flark doing his 3v3 tournaments. Show up, and he will put you into a random threes group, and you can test your mettle against the other competitors to see if you can get to the top. It's always been fun to watch, and some of the comps are pretty wacky. I'm not gonna lie, but some people they make them work, and it's completely random. Like, you can be a 2200 player or a 1400 player and end up being matched together. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all done war games. It's pretty wacky, and there's been some pretty good prize pools. I think the last one was around $500 or so. I'm gonna have to look back at that. Anyways,
that's legit.
It is,
especially to be happening so frequently. I mean, we've been shouting that out for maybe the past several months. Like,
yes. Well, he did stop for a bit, but then he started back up a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. So, and it's totally community driven. Like, community's been giving stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes when he doesn't have money, it's mounts or something else.
And cool. That Synergy community is a really awesome, other community. Their Discord's really nice if you're looking for a group and you're just like, man, I don't want to sit in these LFG groups anymore. You know, it's a great alternative option for you to kind of find some people to play with. So.
Well, I don't know if you know, but I'm not sure if I mentioned it before. So he has the Discord where he announces that he's going to do the tournament, but he also has BNet communities, and I think he has like 5 of them now. Like, because they have the max number of people, so he has to keep creating more, and he announces them in there too.
Gotcha.
So just gotta be part of his community and the whole Synergy community. And there's some great players in there. Speaking of some great players, this one just came hot off the presses. The WoW20, the WoWlevel20.com community is doing a level 20 3v3 tournament over on the EU servers. And they're calling it the Burning League. And that's actually going to be happening this weekend, the 19th and the 20th. So I'm going to have a link in the show notes. I tweeted it earlier. I know Warcraft Radio tweeted it as well. So it's WoWlevel20.com. Go over there. You'll be able to find the link with all the information about it. Some amazing prizes. And if you're not going to compete, at least go and watch. Like, there's some great prizes to throughout the whole thing. I believe there's some just for if you're watching. Yeah.
As a unique option too, your boy's going to be shoutcasting that on Sunday.
Sorry, say that again?
You will find me shoutcasting that on Sunday.
You really?
Yeah! So...
Wow! I had no idea.
If you can't stand me, then just watch Saturday. If you don't mind me, then just watch Saturday and or Sunday.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, you just took me by surprise.
I know, right? I didn't told you I was leaving that for the live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Okay. Hey, congrats, buddy. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great event. So, I really love what Embu and and Corny are doing. They're putting on a great event. They're doing a great job. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
I was going to mention. This is our friend Embu, who's been he's been doing some of the he was working some of the Twink stuff before too, right?
Yes,
so,
has been. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. Okay, I'm completely okay. Cool. Yeah. And then obviously there's the official esports. So the circuit ended last weekend. We have our top 4 teams for the NA and the EU, and that final bracket, the double elimination, is going to start on not this weekend but the following one, the 26th, if I remember. And so 26th is EU, 27th is NA, and we will find out who the final grand champions are going to be for those 2 regions after that weekend. And they'll be the final feather in the cap for the AWC for the BFA.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited for this. There were some serious upsets. If you look at how the cups went throughout the whole year leading up to the circuit, there were some upsets in the circuit. I was really surprised by who got knocked out and who made it to the top.
Yeah.
And I could really see it's really hard to figure out who. There's no like number one clear answer who's going to win. I don't think.
No.
I think there's definitely some opportunities for one of those teams to be number one, and there's no clear answer.
Yeah, it's been very contentious to see who's like that clear winner, and it's like you said, it's not, and because what makes it even more difficult is how they've been doing it right now with the whole circuit round robin play, because you don't get to watch teams back to back go up against an RP and then go up against that. You just kind of watch them in one matchup once a week, and it's like, okay, how'd they do? It's tougher to kind of digest all of that over such a large amount of time too. So, and that being said, these teams have so much more time now to prepare, and so you're seeing some teams that normally wouldn't shine, they're able to exploit. And, well, I don't know if exploit is the best word. They're able to harness all that time and that preparation and put that to their advantage. And so you're seeing that happen a lot. And maybe some teams who maybe wouldn't prepare as much, but were a little bit, relied a little bit more on other things and not preparation, they're kind of struggling a little bit more in this environment.
Exactly. I'll be honest, I was really surprised how fast and furious Charlotte Phoenix moved their way up.
Oh yeah.
I was really surprised to see Starship Gaming get
Spaceship Gaming get
knocked out.
Space Station Gaming, yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
I said that wrong.
Yeah, it's all good.
I almost had it. Yeah. Space Station.
There you go.
Yeah. So what I'm really looking forward to is just because I think we talked about this before, but just how much some of the organizations have really had the longevity of sticking around through seasons and through these different years, and some of them showed up this year, such as Charlotte Phoenix and Space Station Gaming, and that. I'm really hoping that those organizations, as well as like Deception Gaming, or we had Ferox on there earlier from that group. I really hope they stick around and help make Shadowlands, the AWC that shows up in Shadowlands, just be that much better.
Oh yeah.
Ultimately, though, I just want to see more Twitter memes between all these organizations as they try to battle each other out on Twitter as much as they're battling each other out in the arena.
Yeah, I think we blame. Sorry, I think we blame Diabolus for that.
Yes.
That's 100% Ash. Yeah, they're to blame.
Those guys are... Well, Space Station was doing some pretty good video memes, too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they are.
And
they play into it.
Cats are always awesome.
Oh, yeah. They're
with all the cat puns. All right. Well, right before we get into subject analysis to pick Pikachu's brain here. Sorry about that. Slip of tongue. Right before we pick his brain, I just want to point out, for those that are live watching right now in Twitch chat, we will be picking some winners to give out the beta keys. So you'll see in the Twitter chat that some instructions have been given there. So if you follow that, we'll be using that to we'll be figuring out a way to reward some beta keys to the people that are watching right now.
That's awesome.
Yes. I want to thank Warcraft, World of Warcraft, and the Blizzard community folks there for giving us some beta keys, as well as many of the other content creators. I think it's been pretty awesome that they've been reaching out to a number of people to allow us to give back to the people that spend their time listening to us. And I don't know why they're listening to us, but hey, thank you for listening to us. All right, so let's get the subject analysis going on and start picking on Pikachu's brain here.
No.
Start picking on his brain.
I'm gonna light you up, sweet cheeks.
All right, let's do it. Subject of analysis. We're talking about Ret Paladins today. Yes. The wheelchair-bound just harbingers of corrupted and big Ashbringers and other big swords with holy lights coming all over the place. So, Ret Paladins, you've got... Okay, why do you have rolls? Okay, I see what you mean. Your show notes are weird. Your show notes are weird.
I always have that. I'm just letting you go with it, buddy. You're...
Okay. We're gonna digress a little bit. So, Ret Paladins. Ret Paladins have been with us from the original days. They're OGs. Great class to play in Classic. I have a lot of friends who played Classic with me who played Ret Paladin, and I was always kind of jealous. I was like, man, his character's cool. Let's what do you want to talk about first, Gerissar? I don't want to jump straight into talents. I kind of want to see if we can maybe just kind of cover some Ret Paladin from the surface level.
That sounds like a great idea. Well, I think that's the part of the role conversation. So obviously the Ret Paladin, their main reason for being there is to dole out the damage, right? And I think we've always known that that's what they're there for. They do have that other stuff. They have they're a hybrid class, so they can do the off heal support, right? They have the different the blessings that they can give. There's the blessing of sanctuary, the protection, the freedom. Of course, there's always the hands of justice for stunning somebody, which is the bane of my existence whenever I'm fighting against a Ret Paladin. But Pika, why don't you I guess on the surface, what's the main style? Are you? I'm assuming you're just not pushing buttons, just whatever happens to be the next one glowing on the hot bar. What's the general sense that you're trying to accomplish? What are you generally? What abilities are you generally trying to use to lead up to just obliterating somebody with the mighty holy power that you've built up?
I mean, I like to play around setups a lot, where I just try to, as example, when I play arenas, as a pally, you have your big wings, and you also have a 1 minute cooldown short wings is an honor talent. And what I like to do is, I hodge up a target, I press my short wings, and many people will panic and use the defensives on it. And then I still have my big wings in my back pocket, and then I can just delete them on the next stun, and they will be like, wow, didn't he just press wings? And I like to play a lot around the setups and forcing cooldowns without really having them to use them, by kind of baiting them to do them. And I like to play really defensive as well, outside of my cooldowns, because right now how Ret Paladin is, it's really cooldown dependent. Outside of wings, not really powerful. Your damage you do outside of wings has not really big impact. So outside of wings, I don't really try to do much damage. I'd much rather stay in the back, heal a bit, kites, avoid damage, dispel poisons and all of that. Just support my healer so he doesn't die or we don't fall behind. And then when I have my damage ready, I go super aggressive. I might bubble offensive and all that. I really like that about Ret Paladin. They just have that option.
Yeah.
Bubble offensively? Wow.
Yeah, to avoid crowd control,
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might get polyed up during your go, and you're like, no, you won't be able to kill. So you just bubble before they go, and then you just can't get interrupted and you
Yeah.
just kill.
Well, I can see that being advantageous because if you're supporting your healer, you're allowing the game to go much further. So I'm sure you can probably bubble 2, possibly even 3 times
Exactly.
in a game.
Yep.
I
It's like,
never even thought about that.
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
I just try to keep the game going as long as possible
Right.
because I might get like one setup where I like get enough crits
Yeah.
to actually kill, you know. And
Okay.
for that to happen, I will obviously need to support my healer to keep us alive.
Sure.
Yes.
And by me just mindlessly doing damage without wings, where I just don't get any pressure instead of like healing and supporting him, like won't accomplish that, you know.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
I
so
understand
yeah,
that.
I liked it about the Red Paladin too, because you have like these 2 ways. Like you can be the supporter, and you can also be the like the burst machine, just obliterating people when you have cooldowns ready.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're kind of playing that dance. It's that like kind of rocking back and forth between
Yeah,
like
exactly.
support and then like tearing into someone. And so yeah, that's a really, it makes for a fun play style. So tell me a little bit about maybe who do you set your sights on? Obviously it's no secret that mobility is the biggest weakness and the biggest Achilles heel of the Ret Paladin. So, what kind of counters, or how do you deal with that? How do you live with that and not like, Alt F4 and go walk outside?
Yeah, I mean, like what I can tell from like playing arenas a lot, especially in 2v2 and also in 3v3, like you depend a lot on your teammates. Like you need teammates that play around you as a Red Paladin
Okay.
to like enable you, because like most other classes they always have damage, they can always connect, you know, like you don't really have to support them for them to do like their best. But as a Red Paladin, if your teammates don't play around you and don't support you, like you will be bad. Like you won't be able to do much, and then people will be like, "Oh, I don't want to play for Red Paladin. They're so bad." But
Yeah.
they don't even know like how to properly play for Red Paladin to like really make them shine, you know?
Okay. So if I'm playing with you, how do I I'm sure this is a very complicated answer, but I mean just in in the best summed up way possible, how do I support you as a Ret Paladin?
I mean, as example, if you could queue 2v2 and you're let's say a disc priest,
Okay.
like that's my favorite comp to queue in twos, and the best thing you can do is like just keep me offensive and like be sure to dispel me instantly out of crowd control, just do damage. And also when I have big wings and let's say I'm hitting the DPS, I'm not going on the healer, and when I have wings up, make sure you go and try to get crowd control on the healer, or like try to help me pump damage too. Or if you see the healer's like running away from me and I'm hitting him, you can try to like, as example, mind control him back towards me and help me in that way. Or like if you see the healer is running away from me and he runs into you, maybe fear him so I can connect back, or like grip me towards you. Like all these kind of plays like make a huge difference when you play for Red Paladin.
Yeah.
And most people like don't really do that, and then it becomes really frustrating to play a Red Paladin if your teammates don't do
Right.
like small things like that. Like most people don't even think about it, but it has a huge impact on the game.
So I've just to kind of follow up on that, with that in mind, do you find that you're able to land a lot of your kills while they still have cooldowns available? Because your goes are around your wings, which is a 2-minute cooldown, right? So with a 2-minute cooldown, you're not really able to kind of like, weed through the enemy's cooldowns. Like, okay, there goes block, that's gone. There's temp shield, it's gone, or or whatever they may be. You're probably going to have to secure your kill while they still have maybe a few cards left in their hand. So how do you find that kill opportunity when they still maybe have something that they haven't used yet because your kill windows are maybe 2 minutes apart?
Yeah, I mean that's what I said about like where the Honor Talent Hammer of Reckoning comes in handy, because it's basically wings #2 but on a shorter duration, but it's actually burstier than big wings too, because
Oh.
like wings is on a global, so when you pop big wings, like the global itself doesn't do damage, but
Right.
Hammer of Reckoning, on the other hand, it instantly does like huge damage as you press it and activates wings on top of that for a few seconds.
Mm.
So you can kill
Okay.
with short wings a lot of the time too. Like there's
Interesting.
many times where I can kill someone from 100 to 0 in a hodge. Just
What's
with
your
short
cooldown
wings
on that?
too. Hammer of Reckoning is a 1-minute cooldown.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
So you have that too.
Mhm.
And
Do you
also
ever?
many
Sorry.
but-
Continue. Yeah. My bad.
I mean, it's just also like as I said earlier, many people confuse like big wings with short wings, so they like
Yeah.
overuse cooldowns on the short wings, and then they don't have it for the big wings afterwards.
Mhm.
And you can like work your way around that, like try
Mhm.
to bait cooldowns to the short wings, and then punish them with the big wings, and yeah. And also maybe on some girls where you don't have any of them, there's also some offensive trinkets that you guys probably know of from the
Yeah.
raid, like Drastagath trinket as
Mhm.
example.
Yeah.
You could maybe play that and make a bursty go with that too, or maybe your healer has like the claw from Mythic Mod as well from the
Yep.
raid that also does decent damage,
Mhm.
and you kind of just have to play around like that. And I mean, the biggest key is like Hammer of Reckoning, the Honor Talent, obviously. And I'm kind of sad that we are losing that in Shadowlands. I'm kind of scared about that. Like they turned it
Yeah.
into a passive
Oh.
that activates automatically,
Right.
so you don't really have like a
There's no
button
control
press
there.
anymore.
Yeah.
Like it just activates automatically from now on. Like it's basically the same. It just turned into a passive
Right.
in Shadowlands.
Okay.
So I mean, it seems good, but I don't know. I'm kind of scared about it because you don't really have control over it, of course.
Yeah.
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 It loses a little of the bit of your debate ability. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I really like Hammer of Reckoning. Like it's really good to bait cooldowns.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can
even land kills.
I can see that's where that's really frustrating because you're as a Ret Paladin, I imagine, when you said it was so cooldown dependent, and I'm sure when you pop those cooldowns, you better be ready to make use of them because you can't just pop them randomly. Like I can imagine something like your not your badge, but your other trinket that's kind of like badge that has a chance on hit to give you your main stat or whatever is not nearly as beneficial as the badge that's going to give it when you want it because
Exactly.
Yeah.
you're not able to always just connect instantly to your target.
Yeah, that's the issue too. And also, usually, obviously, you want to have like at least 3 holy power before you go as well,
Right.
which is sometimes not possible because, as example, if you're trying to kill a really mobile target like a heal monk or rest druid, like you kind of have to hodge them when you can, and sometimes you're forced to hodge them when you're like don't have any holy power, and then the go feels pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of RNG dependent too.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it can be definitely rough, but you can make it work, obviously.
I'm wondering if one of the thoughts behind that of making Hand of Reckoning a passive where it's just going to proc whenever is to raise up some of the generic damage that a Ret Pally does without pushing it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah, I get that.
I almost don't know if
but
it does
I don't
though.
like it. What's that?
I almost don't know if it does though.
I have no idea.
I tried it a lot on the beta. Like
Yeah.
the way it works is like all your teammates within your aura range. Like if anyone in your aura range takes damage, like critical damage, you get like stacks. And when you
Okay.
reach 50 stacks, it like gives you a buff for 30 seconds that increases your next auto swing damage by 250%, and that auto attack will trigger the wings for a short duration. It's like kind of how it
Okay.
works. So at least that's like kind of bad luck protection, I guess.
Sure.
So if
Yeah.
you want proc it when you're out of range, if you know what I mean, because you have to auto attack for it to proc.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So I mean, you have kind of control, I guess, that way. Like if you're out of range and stuff, then okay, if
Yeah.
I connect to the target now, I will proc wings.
Yeah, but I mean, if you judgment him and you're, wheelchairing over to him, are you going to be able to? Is that going to proc your little wings? Maybe.
No. You have to auto attack.
You have to auto attack, okay.
Because the buff also buffs your auto attack damage, like the next swing, by
Okay.
250%. It makes it like activate the wings. Like
Gotcha.
it has to be an auto swing. To proc it.
Interesting.
Okay.
yeah, I see what you're saying.
That feels
gets
much
rid of that
better.
Bad luck
Yeah.
of like, oh, it procced and there's nobody nearby me.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was what I was scared about the most, because
Yeah, that'd be
like you're
mean.
getting kited a lot as a Reddit. Imagine it like keeps
Mhm.
proccing when you're not like can't reach anyone.
Yeah.
Like that's like insanely frustrating.
That'd be
Yeah.
cruel.
Yeah. At least we have that.
Okay, but that's so that's Shadowlands. I guess I hate to shut it down though because Shadowlands is so close. We should probably like hodgepodge this between what's current and what's coming down the pipe, anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess. So is there anything changing in the support in the CC structure? I mean, you're still gonna have Hodge, right?
Yeah, they're not really changing anything about that. Sadly, like we're still having like just the 1 minute watch baseline, and then we get to choose the CD reduction or blinding light or repentance. Like
Okay.
sadly, they didn't give us anything baseline there.
Yeah, I'd almost like to see you guys have repentance baseline, honestly.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, in Mob we had blinding light baseline, and I think it was
Yeah.
good. Sadly, we don't have it anymore. Like we only have Hodge right now.
Right.
Uh,
Well,
Wonder why?
maybe we should just start swinging into the talents then, and maybe this will be a
Yeah.
good time to kind of move into that discussion.
I think you're right, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, just quickly, because this is me not being prepared. Then we haven't. There's no changes in the actual talent structure come Shadowlands, right?
There's a few talent changes. Like, as example, execution sentence. That was a talent, but they changed that talent. It's somehow working like touch of death for monks right now.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
But not
it's
as good,
It's a
really.
1 minute cooldown now, and 20% of all damage you do during while execution sentence is up is gonna like be dealt as an extra damage at the end of these 8 seconds. Like, it's kind of works like touch of death now. So
Cool.
we
Gotcha.
changed that.
Okay.
Then we got Imperium Power as a talent as well. Like it was a trait in BFA. They turned it into a talent and they put it where Hammer of Wrath was, because we have that baseline now.
Okay.
And
Alright.
we got some news, but like the talent tree actually changed like a little bit. In
Okay.
Shadowlands.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's good. A little bit of change is good. Better than.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Well, I guess how about I'll roll in with we'll do the first level here. We'll talk about what's available on the first level. You can tell us what's what, and maybe talk about what's good now and what's good in Shadowlands then.
Sure.
So, all right. So the first one, there's Zeal, which Judgment empowers you with Holy Zeal, causing your next 3 auto attacks to occur 30% faster and deal an additional damage. 8.5% of your attack power is holy damage. The Righteous Verdict, so Templar's Verdict increases the damage of your next Templar's Verdict by 15% for 6 seconds. And Execution Sentence, which costs 3 holy power, and calls down the Light's punishment upon an enemy's target, dealing 200% of attack power as holy damage and increasing the target's holy damage taken from your attacks by 20% for the next 12 seconds.
You know what I imagine when I see that? I imagine that turtle, Crush from Finding Nemo, who just goes, righteous! You know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry, I just had to put that in there.
That's great.
Yeah.
But is execution sentence actually that righteous? Is it? Would you take it?
Like in that row, I usually play Execution Sentence mainly, because
Okay.
it's also like for PvP it's really good because it's also a ranged ability, which is nice as a red because you get kited a lot, and it's also bursty.
Okay.
And Righteous Verdict I usually don't take because it usually requires you to have high uptime on the target to actually benefit from it, which won't be the case in PvP.
Yeah.
Zeal is just not as impactful as Execution Sentence in my opinion, because again it will require you to have uptime usually to like get value of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I usually play Execution Sentence. And also, if you guys didn't know, there's some talents are nerfed in PvP. Like as an example,
Right.
Righteous Verdict is only a 10% increase in PvP instead of 15.
Oh yeah, instead of 15.
And Righteous Verdict is also a 15% damage increase instead of 20 in PvP. So yeah, there's like
Okay.
lots of stuff like nerfed. Also, Wake of Ashes is 40% nerfed. Word of Glory is 40% nerfed. There's lots of nerfs, and people are also
Yeah.
worried that they're still active in Shadowlands, but I'm not sure about that yet.
Yeah.
That's a
But
good
yeah.
point. I'm using Wowhead tooltips, so I'm just reading. It's right off the baseline code, right off the baseline databases. They don't have the PvP tweaked numbers,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's a good point. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. So execution sentence is your go-to on that tier. That makes sense. Do you often have the 3 holy power to cast that?
Yeah, Holy Power is usually not really a big issue because luckily we have like Blade of Justice, which is a like 8-yard range, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
And your auto attacks have a chance to like reset it. So you can like even if you're getting kited, you always can get Holy Power with like pressing Judgment and Blade of Justice, which is pretty good. So usually Holy Power is not really an issue, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
Good to know. Andallyn, do you want to take the
Awesome.
next one?
Yeah, let's talk about the second robe. So we've got Fires of Justice. This reduces the cooldown of Crusader Strike by 15% and grants it a 15% chance to make your next ability consume 1 less holy power. Cool. Blade of Wrath. Art of War resets the cooldown of Blade of Justice 100% more often and increases its damage by 25%. And we also have Hammer of Wrath. This hurls a divine hammer that strikes an enemy for 92% of your attack power as holy damage. It's only usable on enemies that have less than 20% health or while you are empowered by Crusade on a 7.5 second cooldown. So break this level down for us and help us understand when you would take what, or if you're kind of talent locked here.
So like Fires of Justice is usually what you never take. It's pretty bad because Crusader Strike does really little damage. Like it's usually like in a normal arena game, it's like 1% of my total damage, maybe sometimes less. Like you barely get to press it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to avoid pressing it. Like sometimes I'm legit waiting for my Blade of Justice to reset rather than pressing Crusader Strike sometimes.
So
It's a really bad button. So that talent doesn't really make it any better.
That's horrible.
Blade of Wrath is a really interesting thing because if you guys know the honor talent called Law and Order,
Yeah.
which basically like whenever your Hand of Hindrance gets removed, its cooldown's reduced, and also your Blade of Justice applies Hand of Hindrance to the target for 3 seconds. So having like a higher proc rate on Blade of Justice will actually help you to like have more slow uptime on the target,
Right.
which is really nice. The Hammer of Wrath, again, I usually like. I think Blade of Wrath and Hammer of Wrath are like equally good, but I usually prefer Hammer of Wrath because like it's another range button again. Like it's 30-yard range. It's good to finish off people from range sometimes, or build holy power again while you're getting kited.
Yeah.
And it also goes through Bob and stuff. So like
nice.
Blessing of Protection, like it's magic damage. So usually I pick Hammer of Wrath, but sometimes Blade of Wrath is also pretty nice, mainly because of the Law and Order honor talent, so you get more slow up time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like it's a personal choice, I think, between these two. But
Gotcha.
Fires of Justice is pretty much a dead talent,
Yeah.
in my opinion, at least in PvP, because you barely get to press Crusader Strike, and even if you press it, it really does really bad damage. So
Yeah. So you'll go Hammer Wrath on something like that you're going to have a high uptime on, like if you're setting a Warlock or something like that, yeah.
yeah.
Or higher
Hammer of
uptime.
Yeah, Hammer of Wrath mainly for extra range damage or like against Paladin teams that have Blessing of Protection.
Sure.
Because like as a Ret Paladin, you have so much like pretty much all your spells are holy damage besides Crusader Strike and Blade of Justice. So many times I can even easily kill people through Blessing of Protection, and having Hammer of Wrath on top of that helps a lot.
Nice. Okay.
And yeah, that's usually why I mainly play Hammer of Wrath, but Blade of Wrath is also pretty nice sometimes.
Gotcha.
Cool, huh? Sorry, just kind of thinking about everything you were just saying there. Okay, makes sense. The next one there, you got Fist of Justice. Each holy power spent reduces the remaining cooldown on Hammer of Justice by 2 seconds. That's a familiar old friend that we've talked about before. Repentance, which is a 1.7 second cast and a 15-second cooldown, and it forces an enemy target to meditate, incapacitating them for 1 minute. Usable against humans, demons, undead, dragonkin, and giants. And then Blinding Light, which is what we were just talking about there before. It's on a 1.5-minute cooldown, emits a dazzling light in all directions, blinding enemies within 10 yards, causing them to wander disorientated for 6 seconds. Non-holy damage will break the disorientating effect. Now, quickly, these times I just talked about, they're not the same in PvP, right? Like, because blinding light,
like the duration is not the same, obviously.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, only Repentance is not the same. I mean, Fist of Justice and Blinding Light is pretty much the same in PvP. Just Repentance is a 8-second duration.
Yeah.
In PvP, not a minute, obviously. That would be really
That'd be
overpowered.
insane.
That'd be classic style right there. That's what that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
See you next game, bozo.
But now, so this has just piqued me though. I never remember that Repentance does demons and undead. So can you use that against a warlock's pet?
yes, you can actually. You can use it on
Okay.
Warlock pets. That's
And
like pretty
the
much
demon hunter's ghoul too, right? Or the DK's ghoul.
Because
he's undead.
Yeah, you
Okay.
could use that on that as well.
But is it worth it?
I mean, I think only time I only used it on a pet was against Demonology Warlocks in PvP.
Oh,
If you guys kind of know how they work, they have like this big tyrant they summon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's like they do big bulls. And sometimes I play that to like just repentance them so they don't one-shot me. Because they
Fair
do
enough.
crazy damage if they play the one-shot build.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's the only time I really used repentance on a pet, because
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
otherwise I would rather use it on a player, obviously.
Yeah.
But against Warlock pets, and against Demonology, I sometimes use it on the Tyrant to avoid its burst damage.
Okay. Makes sense. So otherwise, what would be your go-to then? The Fist of Justice for the reduced cooldown on Hammer Justice?
Yeah, usually mainly I play Fist of Justice, but in my main comp in Freeze, I only play Blinding Light, since we have a sub rogue, and Blinding Light doesn't put the target in combat when you press it. So we mainly use it so our rogue can sap off of it, because they drop combat during a 6-second duration.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically like another blind sap go for us, because our sub rogue can sap off of it.
Oh.
Because I don't need a stun when I play for rogue, the sub rogue, obviously, because they have
Right.
3 dances, they have stuns, they have infinite amount of stuns.
Exactly.
So having another stun wouldn't really help a lot, but having another blind is pretty huge for sub rogue. So usually I play that in Freeze, but in twos, obviously, I sometimes play Repentance too. I really make use of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
In twos, when I feel like I'm playing against the healer that I won't really kill, but he's playing for DPS that I know I would kill, then I like to pick Repentance. As example, against Paladins, sometimes Disc Priests, I like to play Repentance into those, because I can easily CC them and then just go for the DPS.
Yeah.
And if I go for the healer, obviously I'll play Fist of Justice to have a stun more often. And yeah, that's pretty much but I think all of them are pretty good spells. That's why I'm kind of sad why we don't get at least one of them baseline. That would be really cool. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they must have a reason behind it. I wonder what it plays like without.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason would be. There's so many classes that have so many kinds of different cool CCs.
Yeah.
Warlocks, as example, they have crazy amount of CC. They
Yeah.
have stuns. They have roots even in BFA right now.
And
They
more
have-
damage. Yeah.
Yeah, they've even if they play succubus, they can literally CC 2 people at once. They have lots. Many classes have lots of CC buttons. Even demon hunters have 2 different stuns.
Yep.
And then we only have Hodge, and that's it. Which kind of feels
But
bad.
Hodge is an instant cast, and you can kill somebody through a Hodge.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have- as a warlock, I'd have to cast Fear, and then as soon as somebody damages, it breaks free, right?
Yeah, of course. Like I'm not comparing
So,
them, but yeah,
yeah.
I mean, and Molotov was fun as well, of course. Like they have
Yeah.
Shadow Fury, as example.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's not as strong as Hodge,
Yeah.
but yeah. Like
No, I
the
get it.
rope,
I
I'm
get it.
also kidney shot and blind. Like I don't know, like just having one more kind of CC baseline would be really fun. Like
Yeah.
what we had in Mob, blinding light baseline.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
get that. I get that's what you're saying is that ultimately you have like one way to stun a target and that's it, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also it's magical, so in arena I can only pretty much stun the healer, because
Right.
if I stun the DPS, he will get dispelled out of it, because it's a magic stun.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that with, how you ended up doing that. Because I've played with a lot of teams or seen a lot of teams play where what they'll do is they won't Hodge unless they can cover the Hodge.
Yeah.
But if you're playing with a sub rogue, then that kind of doesn't make any sense because he'll be stunning your kill targets. But yeah, that you just throw your stun on the healer. So
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
cool. All right, so let's talk about the next row of talents here. We have Divine Judgment. Each enemy hit by an ability that consumes holy power increases the damage of your next judgment by 20%, stacking up to 15 times. Wow. We also have Consecration. You consecrate the land beneath you, causing 5% of your attack power times 7 holy damage over 6 seconds to enemies who enter the area. And you have Wake of Ashes, an instant cast 45-second cooldown ability. You lash out at your enemies, dealing 210% of attack power as radiant damage to all enemies within 12 yards in front of you, and reducing their movement speed by 50% for 5 seconds. Demon and undead enemies are also stunned for 5 seconds. This ability also generates 5 holy power. So this is, I remember this ability came into Legion. That's when I was playing Ret Paladin, and that was what you got from just having your artifact, right? That was your artifact ability. So, when into BFA they just repurposed it as a talent, but I imagine that's still probably your go-to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually. I mean, it looks kind of obvious too from reading. Like the Wake of Ashes is obviously the best option because it also gives 5 holy power. It slows the target, does lots of damage, and it's also pretty nice sometimes when I play into like unholy DKs in PvP. They like summon an army of undeads, and then I can just like Wake of Ashes into it, and all the pets are stunned and do less damage. Kind of nice.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I do hate that army of undead. Those things are.
Plus the gargoyle, plus the
Yeah.
mutated crow thing, and
They have lots of pets.
yeah.
Yes. All right.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense. Would you? So you pretty much just Wake of Ashes. You wouldn't use anything else in that tree.
Yeah, it's a really easy.
Yeah, I mean, like the judgment thing is pretty interesting. The problem with it is though, the buff itself only lasts like 15 seconds. Like I've been trying around with it. The buff itself only lasts 15 seconds. So in PvP, you get CC'd a lot, you get kited a lot. So like I try to get like high stacks to like be able to try and one-shot someone and stuff in arena, but you won't really get high stacks because you will eventually lose the stacks at some point because you get CC'd or kited and you won't be able to hit someone anymore. So it kind of loses value.
All right.
Like it's an interesting talent, but I don't think it's ever really worth playing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a
Sounds
fool's
better as a
errand.
PvE talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the consecration is also like it requires the targets to stay in it. And in PvP, no one will be gladly joining you in your consecration, and it's overall also less damage than Wake of Ashes.
Okay.
It's also a pretty high cooldown, in my opinion, like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Almost like 6 or 8 seconds. And yeah.
Sidestep is OP. It's off the global cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Wake of Ashes is just by far the best option here. Like I
Oh,
tried
yeah.
with all of them, and yeah, Wake of Ashes just seems the best
Fair enough.
by far.
Fair enough. Okay, what about this next here then? We got the Unbreakable Spirit, which reduces the cooldown of your Divine Shield. And your the Shield of Vengeance there. And then you got Cavalier, so Divine Steed now has 2 charges, and that's the the instacast, get little amount to be able to run across the arena. So you get 2 of those. And then Eye for an Eye. So surround yourself with a bladed bulwark, reducing physical damage taken by 35% and dealing 35% of attack power as physical damage to any melee attackers for 10 seconds. Which is why a Ret Paladin can laugh sometimes when an arms warrior pops their cooldowns and just goes ham on them, and they pop this and watch them kill themselves. But what's your go-to on that one?
I usually play Unbreakable Spirit most of the time because, like, since you stack like the stat versatility in arena, pretty much it's always like any class. Like it scales up the Shield of Vengeance absorb amount, so your Shield of Vengeance is actually really powerful. So having 30% less cooldown is actually pretty huge. So you might have it on a go, and if you don't pick that, you might not have it on a go. Like it will still be on cooldown for like another 30 seconds, and you might die because of it. And also having the less cooldown on bubble is also pretty nice.
Yeah.
So usually play that, but sometimes when I try to like play, when I know okay I will have to win early game, I have to play aggressive, then I go Cavalier for the extra mobility.
Makes sense.
Or like if I play 2v2 and I have to chase a mobile healer, then I'll also go with Cavalier, of course. But yeah, mainly I play Unbreakable Spirit. And Eye for an Eye, like I think it will get more value again in Shadowlands, but in BFA right now, Eye for an Eye doesn't really have that much value because of all the corruptions and essences, many melees, like their main damage is magic still because of like gushing wounds or reaping flames, the essences. Like it doesn't really have much value because so many classes have so much magic damage mainly, so it feels like pretty bad to only have a physical damage reduction when even most melees have mainly magic damage for some reason.
I think we've all seen the copy and paste image of the damage meters where they were fighting against something and the number 1 damage was gushing wounds or
but those aren't copy and paste. Those are literally just screen caps.
Yeah.
Like gushing wounds being 40% of like a demon hunter's damage.
Yeah, and then
damage.
void rift or whatever the void lash. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like there's not really any melees anymore that only do physical damage.
No.
So like they always have gushing or like some other sort of stuff, and that's why I usually prefer just short shield and short bubble mainly, or like Cavalier in case I need to like play aggressive in early, and I need the extra mobility. But I think Eye for an Eye will get value again in Shadowlands. I hope we won't get like random damage procs from other sources again that might like as crazy as in BFA, where corruptions and essences are like more than half our damage.
Yeah.
So it will maybe get more value again because classes will do damage with their class abilities again.
What a concept!
What a strange concept.
Yeah.
That's also a main reason I really like playing Red right now too, because as a Red you don't like all your damage is your own class abilities pretty much.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, like if you look at the damage breakdown, it's like from in PvP as a Red, it's like all your own spells. You don't really play gushing or anything, and essences all don't.
You're stacking versatility.
Yeah, exactly. And also proc related stuff is usually not that good on Reds because I mean they don't have any dots. They don't really attack fast. So stuff like gushing wounds and stuff isn't as effective on Reds as they are on like Deages or Asa robes. And
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Like as a Red, I just know when I have damage, and like I know it's like the damage comes from the button I press and not from random procs. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just really surprised. I'm listening to you. I'm just really surprised that you don't have like a shooting star or a gushing or a lash or something on some of your gear to like just proc up whenever because you're usually hitting them with something even ranged, right? So I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah,
that
like,
makes sense.
Yeah, you can play gushing as a Red. It's not as bad. Like I tried it a bit, but as a Red, you're really squishy in arenas. So usually, if you play anything but full versatility, you just flop over, and it's not really as good as full versatility.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah. Plus the amount of versatility you can get from like even a rank 2 like Infinite Star, which isn't providing you much damage benefit as well. Like, it's just not worth it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And also as a red, like versatility is especially good because as I said, it was like Shield of Vengeance absorb, your off heals do
Yeah.
way more.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you just get like double benefit from it. Kind of like it's not only good for damage, it's also like makes you heal more and everything. Yeah.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Cool.
All right.
All right, yeah, let's talk about the next row here.
Yes,
We've got
please.
2 more rows. So the Selfless Healer. Your Holy Power spending abilities reduce the cast time of your next Flash of Light by 25% and increase its healing done by 10%. It stacks up to 4 times. You have the Justicar's Vengeance. This costs 5 Holy Power, requires melee range, and you focuses holy energy to deliver a powerful weapon strike that deals 150% of attack power holy damage and restores health equal to the damage done. Damage is increased by 50% when used against a stunned target, a classic ability. And we have Word of Glory. This costs 3 holy power, a 40-yard range on a 1-minute recharge, and you have 2 charges of it. And it heals a friendly target and the 2 most injured targets within 30 yards for 560% of spell power. Yeah, I remember taking this in raids actually, and I could actually beat some healers or like actually do some insane healing in raids with Word of Glory. But we're talking about PvP, so
Yeah.
Pikachu.
Get that PvP out of
Yeah,
PvE out of here.
I know. Garbo. So tell me a little bit about what you're going with here, because I mean all these are some really nice utility options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mainly go Selfless Healer because it's also like a purge protection because it's a buff. So there's a less chance that your freedom gets instantly purged off because you have also this as a buff.
Yeah.
Like it's just really nice as a purge protection as well, and also having like these instant heals sometimes, like powerful Flash of Lights are really nice too.
Yeah.
I mainly play that. Like Justica's Vengeance used to be really strong in Legion. Like
Yeah.
it actually like crit people for more than half their health when you had wings up, and like, it did crazy damage. Like you could just 2-shot people, but that's why they like nerfed it like crazy. Like they over nerfed it, and it has been really undertuned since then. Like even if the target is stunned up, it does slightly less damage than a Templar. So
Yeah.
like it's
Wow.
like the damage is really nerfed. I mean, I'm not sure if it's the same in PvE, but at least in PvP, it does like really low damage. Sadly, like it used to be
That's
really
unfortunate.
strong, but sadly they nerfed it really hard and didn't touch it since then. And I'm really sad they haven't touched it in Shelllands either. Like it still seems to be the exact same, still like doing
That
way too
seems
less damage, way too little
Because
damage.
for taking 5 holy power, like that's huge.
Yeah,
Like that completely drains all your holy power. I would expect it
Exactly.
to give up like a solid punch for that.
yeah. I guess they don't. I guess they see like the healing it does. Maybe they see like okay, no, it's too
Right.
strong, but I don't know. Like I would like my idea would be to change it to like either make it like cost only 3 holy power, so you can maybe have an option to like do this around the same damage as a Templar in a stun, but also heal yourself would be nice, like on the same holy power cost. Or like
Right.
leave it the way it is, but like buff its damage a little bit, like maybe 10-20%, like nothing really crazy, so it's actually worth pressing maybe. But like right now it feels really weak, like it does too little damage in my opinion for the holy power cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
This is very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, like sadly, I was really a big fan of this spell. I think it's
Mhm.
really cool, and I used to love it in Legion when it was actually good. But then they nerfed like midway in Legion, they nerfed it really hard because it was really overpowered. And yeah,
Yeah.
Rid of Glory is also
yeah.
pretty good, but yeah,
You just
Rid of
top
Glory is-
yourself.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, sorry, I was just saying you would just top yourself with I remember using it, so I was just like,
yeah, it was
oh,
really
yeah.
strong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's why they like nerfed it too. But it's again like Blizzard does it a lot. They over nerfed it, so they killed the button basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did the
Yeah.
same with Word of Glory. Like Word of Glory used to be really strong in Legion as well. Like you used to like sometimes out heal your healer in arena with it. Like,
Yep.
it was really, really strong. But then again, they nerfed it by like 40% in PvP battle. And since then, no one really plays it. Like, it's still okay. Like, it still does okay healing even in PvP. I only played it when I play like double DPS in 2s to have like this extra healing. But outside of that, I usually go selfless healer because over time it's just more healing. Like having these instant buffed flash of lights and also purge protection on top of that.
Yeah.
And Word of Glory is like a really huge cooldown. Like it's a 1-minute cooldown, and it goes free holy power as well. And
Yeah.
it just doesn't heal as much as it used to do, because it got nerfed by 40% in PvP, sadly.
Okay.
And yeah,
Yeah.
like,
That's
I usually
Alright.
play selfless healer, but yeah.
See, that's just really frustrating because it's like you know, I don't know if anyone's taken like an actual like engineering class on mechanics and stuff like that. They tell you about how you can how you iterate in different things because like sometimes like feedback loops and stuff like this, kind of like how the game devs work. They work on feedback loops, right? They
Yep.
put in a change and they say, oh, okay, well this was too far over here, so let's dial this back in, and and that's how you think you do a lot of things like that. But it seems like they haven't, even after all this time, been able to figure out how not to completely swing the pendulum over so far, and they like underdamp or overdamp the change so much so that they completely just kill and obliterate these abilities to where it'd be so much better if they could just like dial it in and say, okay, it needs a little bit more, we'll dial it down a little bit more, rather than just like, nope, ability's gone.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Like sometimes I appreciate when they make that change, but it's like, yeah.
So I would say the counter to that is yes, that we've seen so often where they over nerf something, but then because it's over nerfed, this other ability over here is used instead. So then they get no further data on how they could have undone how far they tweaked it, because nobody's really using. It seems like nobody's really using it. So then there's no way for them to go, oh, yeah, that went a little too far. Maybe we should swing it back a little bit.
Right.
But like you said, like we're talking about stuff where the nerf was implemented over an X pack ago, and it's still in place. Like that seems a little ridiculous.
That is it. It's a shame.
I guess my only hope would be is that maybe somebody is providing that feedback back to Blizzard, or unless somebody's actually listening from Blizzard, which would be absolutely amazing. But I doubt it. But hey, maybe they'll dial it back.
We can always hope.
I'm sure that these problems are not completely. They're not completely naive to these problems. I'm sure that they're aware, and it's something that they have to find solutions for, because it's a lot of people try to boil Blizzard's problems down to that of like a general like as if you're just running like a Walgreens or something. I'm not trying to say a shot at anyone who runs a Walgreens. You're doing an awesome job, and I'm sure there's got its challenges. But like they boil it down as if like you're just running a thrift store, and it's just like, yo, just put a price tag on it. Like it's not as easy as you're trying to make it. Like they have a job that has to be done, and to try to make it seem like it's not difficult, or it's like just do this and you don't have to like. I don't know. I'm not explaining this very well, but I think it's also just worth considering that the job that they are trying to do is balance a lot of different things. And to be able to do that in a way that takes into account everything that ought to be taken into account can be something that presents many challenges. So
I'd akin it to trying to keep all the spinning dishes on top of the rods while the monkeys are dancing, and try to remember that there's occasionally a fly that may land on a plate and make everything fall.
Right.
And
then the players come in.
To our fourth guest, the chat room there. One person saying Blizzard has a hard time listening to players. I would counter that right now it seems like Blizzard is listening really well to players.
Better.
Yes,
they're listening better.
I agree on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is a problem they've had over the last two expansions, that they've recognized actually, which I'll give them props for, have admitted and acknowledged and said, hey, we've not been doing a very good job at listening to our community. We're going to do a better job at this now.
And I think they have been.
Yeah, they have been.
I think the one thing I would say is some of the response rate has seemed still a little slow, where it almost seems like we as a player base have to exhaust our breath to the point of just yelling at them before, or repeating ourselves at them before we get a response that's like, finally they're listening to us. And meanwhile, like, we're just exhausted.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
saying the same thing.
Sorry, not to keep going down this rabbit hole, but it's also worth mentioning too, though, that if you're Blizzard, honestly, 60% of what you're hearing from the player base is complete and utter BS. So you have to also filter, like, just because someone's exhausting their breath doesn't mean they're right.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things
Very
that it's like, it's just tough. It's just tough.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy,
So-
but I have to give props. Like, they have been doing a pretty decent job in like Shellland so far. Like, as example, covenants were not swappable at the start,
Mhm.
but people complained about it, so they made it that you actually can change your covenant if you really want to after
Yeah.
picking one. Also, they added like PvP vendors, what people asked for,
Mhm.
and now I don't know if you guys like came wind of it, but people have been complaining that there's like too little choice on the vendors,
Yep.
like
Yep.
for stats.
Well aware,
And
yeah.
People
Right.
have complained about that, and they said now, like, they made a blue post
Yeah,
about
just last
they
week.
want to work on it. Like, they heard that, like, they acknowledge, like, they know it's not as good as people want it to be, so
Yeah.
they are working on it. They might bring back set bonuses or like another PvP stat, or just add also more items to the vendor so we can choose our
Yeah.
stats better. And that's really cool. Like, I really like that.
those are really
Like, they're
good
actually
things.
listening.
That's amazing news if you're a PvPer. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's a really good example also of tangible recent examples of Blizzard saying, you know what, you're right, let's do something about that, you know?
Indeed. All right,
I wish we had more,
I just
but-
want to do a quick poll. So everybody that's listening right now in Twitch chat, if you think that Blizzard is listening, I want you to type a 1. If you think that they're not, type a 2. So let's throw that out to Twitch chat. See what they say. See if they think that they're listening well enough or not. All right. Let's get into. I think we haven't done the last row here, which is divine purpose. So your abilities that consume holy power have a 15% chance to make your next ability that consumes holy power free and deal 20% increased damage and healing. Crusade, where you call upon or replaces Avenging Wrath and call upon light and begin a crusade, increasing your damage done and haste by 3% for 25 seconds. Each holy power spent during the crusade increases the damage done and haste by an additional 3%, maximum 10 stacks. That has a 2-minute recharge, but it's an instant cast. And then Inquisition takes 1 to 2 holy power, is to cast and consumes up to 3 holy power to increase your damage and damage done and haste by 7%, and lasts 15 seconds per holy power consumed, so up to 45 seconds. So what's your choices here? What's your go-to? Divine Purpose? It seems pretty handy.
Yeah, Divine
I like that
Purpose, like
one.
a lot of people like that,
Yeah.
and I mean it's like the, I just want to say that, like, so you guys know, like, the 20% damage increase is only 15% on the next spell in PvP. Like, that's a nerfed talent as well.
Mhm.
But I usually go with Crusade because the 7% haste and 7% more damage is pretty good. But like, I think both, like, Inquisition and Divine Purpose is, like, both are fine. I just like the extra haste you get because it, like, from Inquisition, because you also have, like,
Yeah.
it also improves your globals, like less global cooldown, and also all your spells like Judgment, Blade of Justice, etc. They scale with haste. Like, the more haste you have, the less cooldown they have.
Mhm.
So I usually always pick Inquisition, even though many people don't like it because it's annoying to keep it up all the time and spend
Right.
holy power on it, like keep track of it. Oh no, my Inquisition ran out, I have to refresh it and stuff. like people are annoyed by that. And it's also removed in Shadowlands, like we don't have that anymore, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
But I usually play Inquisition. Or Crusade is also what I play sometimes. Like I mainly play either Inquisition or Crusade. The main difference is, like with Inquisition you have your normal wings, which give 20% damage, 20% crit chance, and 20% healing increase. And Crusade on the other hand gives you 30% damage and 30% haste. So, and usually Crusade is like more DPS on the wings. It also lasts longer. And
Okay.
Inquisition
That's a
is
good
just
thing.
like, but the bad part about this is like you have to stack it first before it actually does damage.
Right.
Because it starts with 3% haste and 3% damage increase, and you have to spend Holy Power to stack it up. So
Yeah.
that's the bad thing about it. And when you play Inquisition, you have like your normal wings, you have it instantly ready. You know, like you can burst whenever you want it, have like instantly the big damage.
Makes
But
sense.
Crusade, you have to stack first. But yeah, I usually mainly play Inquisition. I only play Crusade when I try to all in, I try to one shot, and I know I can only kill on a burst, so I want to maximize my damage on the burst
Right.
on my wings. That's when I play Crusade. But yeah, I mainly play Inquisition. But as I said, I think Divine Purpose is also decent. But I'm just a big fan of Inquisition because of the haste mainly. Like playing with more haste is just also more fun, feels better, faster globals, less
Yeah.
cooldowns.
Yeah, for sure.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Cool. Well,
All right, cool.
you want to talk about some PvP talents?
Right before we choose, we find out what the choices are for PvP talents. I wanna choose somebody to get a beta key.
Ooh, let's do it.
Yes.
How are we going to do this?
Well, so we sorted it out. So the people that have been chatting in chat are they're going to be automatically selected. So if you've been chatting in chat, congratulations, you're already in the draw. If you've been sitting back and only listening and not participating, you're going to have to wait till the next time.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm
you don't want
sorry,
to. You don't want to give them like a minute to get in or something? No.
They have a chance right now. If they get in before our moderators run the roll, they have a chance to get it in. Otherwise, they're gonna have to wait till the next time.
Okay.
And chatting in chat, yes, Mortai. That's exactly it.
Can't be asked. Cannot be asked. No.
I'm having. I don't know what it is. Like tonight, I've just been struggling with words. I keep doing these just doubly saying things. It's the stupidest stuff I've ever been doing.
Strange.
Has absolutely nothing to do with the beer that I've been drinking.
Yo, I was thinking, we drink a lot on this podcast. Are we able to talk about this without it being like, our like ratings or whatever? Is this kosher?
I didn't know we had ratings.
Oh, well, I don't know. Okay. But I was thinking, we drink a lot on this podcast. I almost feel like we should have like a beer review or do like some sideways content type of thing about saying like some sort of a beer review or some kind of drink review. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting content at some point, but
Well, we could, if and when BlizzCon happens again, because they did have the BlizzCon beers.
true.
We could definitely do a review of the beers at BlizzCon.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Apparently, we're getting more response from that little snippet than the rest of the podcast in chat.
We'll see. There you go. There you go. You give the people what they want. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I always want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're all set, ready for the giveaway now. Why don't we go in and run that? I think everyone's gotten their chance to get in case they were just kind of. Because I understand. I'm a chat viewer that I don't always say stuff in chat because I'm not a Spurg. Not the. Come on. If you're a Spurg or not, but that ain't me.
I guess sometimes I'll just sit back on a Twitch chat and just listen and not participate in the chat.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Depends on what I'm watching.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. All right, so what we'll do is we'll roll into the PvP talents and we'll looks like
Oh,
right
Restas, congratulations. So what do we need to do?
Congratulations.
Do you want to
Right.
message us? Yeah, you do that part.
Yeah. I'm going to Yeah, you just won.
Poggers.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So oh, shoot. I guess I'll ask Ketra to open up a DM with Reese, and we'll or one of the mods to do that. In the meantime, we're going to carry on with the PvP talents.
Yeah.
All right.
There's no bumper for that.
No, there's not. All right. So let's just run. I'm just going to run through these quickly. So there's Blessing of Sanctuary, Law and Order, Unbound Freedom, Lawbringer, Hammer of Reckoning, Ultimate Retribution, Vengeance Aura, Divine Punisher, Cleansing Light, Jurisdiction, and Luminescence. Those are all the PvP talents that you can choose from, but we can only choose 3. I guess if you have Conflict and Strife as a major, you get 1 for free, right?
Yeah, like how conflict works, you get like depending on what spell you get, like as example, Red gets Unbound Freedom baseline if you play conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess then you can pick like another 3 of your choice.
Okay. So then what are the 3, like what would you be picking here? So Sanctuary is a really good one because that removes stun, silent spheres, and all that stuff, and then also reduces the duration of such same effects. Then there's what's it, Lawbringer? So when you judge, it also hurts the enemies more. Your Hammer of Reckoning. So when anybody has your greater blessings take damage, you gain Reckoning, and then that gives you a bunch of damage.
That used to be insane.
Yeah, that actually sounds really awesome.
That was Vengeance Aura, is what that used to be.
Oh, that's okay. But like what else are we doing here? What's your go-tos for your PvP talents?
Mainly I play like Lawbringer is I usually like always play that. It's like a really big damage boost. Like every time you press Judgment, they lose 5% of their health, and like if you have it like, and it's also like when you press Judgment, it puts a debuff on the target. So every time you press Judgment, that target loses 5% health. So you can even put that debuff on like 2 or even 3 targets. So every time you press Judgment, everyone that has this debuff loses 5% of their health. So like it's actually a pretty good like damage buff. It's usually, even if I have it on only 1 target active, it's around like 10% of my damage. So it's really good. I usually always play that for the nice damage boost.
That makes sense. That's actually really good.
Yeah, it's a really nice damage buff. And then the next auto talent that I always play is Hammer of Reckoning. Like it's basically like your second pair of wings.
Yep.
Like it's really bursty. It's really good.
Nice.
Like I always play that. Like you have to have a second pair of wings, like especially in 2s. Like
Well, you're saying it's great for making people waste their cooldowns on the minis, and then you have it for the fulls.
The Great Gibate. Yes.
Or you can even that, or like you can even kill with it sometimes. Like if they don't have anything left. Like it's really good. It's just another like extra short wings. It's really nice to have. And the third is like really optional. Like as a third talent, in 2v2 as example, I played Law and Order, where my Hand of Hindrance cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds if it gets dispelled, and also my Blade of Justice applies it for 3 seconds, which is pretty handy. It's really nice to have a slow on the target.
Yeah.
But obviously in 3v3 it's different, because in 3v3 you might have a teammate that already can slow, like maybe you play for, like, let's say Astaroth, they already have a permanent, like, 60% slow, or like, when you play for an Arms Warrior, they already have a slow as well. Like, the slow is not, like, that important in freeze, but in 2v2 we play it a lot. But in 3v3, I mainly play Blessing of Sanctuary, it's more important in 3v3, to avoid, like, setups of the enemies. As example, I really like it against Rogue Mage, because they usually set up with like a stun on your healer into polymorph, so you can like Blessing of Sanctuary them out of the stun, so they can like line of sight the polymorph maybe, or like you use something before it lands to save you. Which is really great. Or like you can save them if they're targeted, and Blessing of Sanctuary them out of kidney shots to help them live.
Which is really good.
Yeah, and if I'm not playing that, if I don't really need it, if it's not necessary. Then I like to play Armored Freedom as well sometimes, especially if I play double melee in 3v3.
Okay.
Because like it makes it so you when you freedom your teammate, you also get it. So it's basically like double freedom. And for
Nice.
some reason, I don't know if it's intended, but Armored Freedom makes it so your Blessing of Freedom doesn't trigger the global cooldown. So it's kind of like off the global cooldown for some reason when you play it. That's
Interesting.
really nice too. And
That's,
it's also
that's really nice.
Yeah,
it's
I didn't
really,
realize
like,
that.
I don't know if it's intended. Like it doesn't say anything on the tooltip. But
Oh,
it's just
we'll,
what it
we'll
is.
edit that part out real quick. You know what I'm saying?
And it also gives you a 30% speed, like movement speed buff, which is really handy too. And it makes it undispellable on yourself, which is really nice. If you play
Oh, wow.
like shamans or mages, they won't be able to spell steal it or purge it, which is really great.
Yeah.
So I like to play
That's
that into like
amazing.
mage teams and shamans. Like, yeah, I really like it to play into also DK teams, to like, cause if you guys know when you meet a DK, they will like press chains of ice on you over and over, and you
Yep.
can't
Yup.
move. And this
Yep.
way you can give yourself and your friend, so you both can move and get away from the DK. It's really good. And
That's
then,
awesome.
then the next talent is Vengeance Aura. I sometimes play that as well, but I mainly play them to Warlock teams and Mage teams, like basically comps that have spammable CC, like crowd control. Because every time you or like targets that you have your blessings on get crowd controlled, you get like
Yeah.
3% more holy damage and 3% more crit chance for 8 seconds, and it stacks up to 4 times.
Yep.
And then you queue, let's say, into like Warlock Mage, you
Mhm.
pretty much have full stacks up the whole
The
game.
whole game, yeah. Yeah. It's a 12%
They
perma
will be
buff.
spam CCing everyone
Yeah.
all the time. And yeah, that's a nice big damage boost, because that's basically 12% crit and 12% more holy damage permanently,
Yeah.
which is pretty nice. Like it's a nice damage boost against comps that have spammable CC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like as I said, like Lawbringer and Hammer of Reckoning is like pretty much baseline. I always play those, and the third talent's just optional depending on what you play against.
Okay.
And the other honor talents are sadly like not as good. Like Luminescence is like really minor, like 20% of the healing you get gets spreaded out to your party members.
Right.
Then Ultimate Retribution, it might be fun in BGs and stuff, but I mean, if someone in your arena team dies, I mean, the game is pretty much over anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it doesn't really have big impact in PvP. And
Okay.
Jurisdiction is okay, but I don't think it's better than the other ones. Like 10%, like 10 yards more range on Hammer of Justice can be really handy sometimes, but I just think the other honor talents have more value, so I usually don't really pick it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Divine Punisher is also nice. Like when you
Yeah, I was
cast
looking
2
at that
judgments
one.
in a row, you get 3 holy power. But again, I think the other ones are just, I don't know, more valuable. Cleansing Light, it's nice and stuff, like a 4-second AoE dispel for diseases and poisons. Can be okay.
Yeah.
I sometimes when I have to when I queue into an unholy DK and I know, okay, I won't be able to kill this early on, I need to like dampen this, like make it a long game, then I sometimes play Cleansing Light and just spam dispel their disease, which is like their main damage.
Right.
Yeah.
Then it comes in handy sometimes, but that's literally the only case I would ever pick it.
Mm-hmm.
That's 13% base mana cost. Like that's a little expensive to just be spamming it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as a red, like DPS in BFA have like really fast mana regen. Like,
Oh,
it
really?
only takes,
Right.
like, yeah, it takes like if you're it maybe takes like 5 to 10 seconds until you're full mana again. Like
What?
Yeah.
yeah, like the mana doesn't really have a role for DPS anymore. Like
Well-
it just reaches super fast.
Wow, I didn't know the regen was that high though. Holy crumb.
Yeah, like you can also just use like 4 flash of lights and then you're but that doesn't matter because like after 5 seconds you're back to full anyway, like
Yeah.
back to full mana.
Wow.
But it's kind
Wow,
of
okay.
like that's a big thing too. Like I think most people preferred like back when mana actually mattered as a DPS as well, where you had to like manage your mana and stuff. But they just got rid of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And
I think they just want to prevent you from being able to cast like more than 4 in a row.
maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think they want you to be able to like top someone, but they don't want you to be able to like top your whole team and yourself as
Yeah, just sit there spamming something and that.
exactly. They're like, okay, you need to go do something else now, you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, it's just like harder back. I mean, I guess that they also made it so it's easier for people. Because I mean, I guess back in the days, even as a DPS, you had to like care about your mana and like manage your mana and
Right.
be careful that you don't yourself instantly.
Right.
And now you don't have to worry about it because even if you somehow manage to go like the mana is back to full in like a few seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
I could be reading too much into that, but they might just be like, "Oh, yeah, we didn't realize that." I guess you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
the reasoning behind it is, like, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? All right.
So did
Okay.
we cover luminescence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we did.
Azurite
I think,
traits.
Yeah, good old Azurite traits.
Yeah, these are going away pretty soon, so we don't need to spend a whole lot of time on these. I'm sure some of them are becoming, they're kind of being embedded into the spec in some way, shape, or form. But tell us a little bit about some of your favorite Azurite traits, the ones that you prefer to play with. You don't have to worry about the ones that you don't play with.
So I mean, the best traits usually for red, I mean, it's the same in PvP and PvE. You basically play the same traits.
Okay. That's
You
kinda
want
nice.
Avengers Might 3 times. Like you want to stack the trait. Like you want to have it 3 times. And I mean, what the trait does is when you activate wings, during your wings you get like extra amount of mastery. And what mastery does is increases your holy damage. So it basically buffs your wings, that trait, like Avengers Might.
Okay.
Just gives you extra mastery during wings. That's what you want to play 3 times to
Okay.
get maximum amount of burst damage. And another good trait is also Light's Decree, which increases your wings duration by 5 seconds. The duration thing doesn't stack, so if you pick it 3 times, you won't have 15 seconds of extra damage.
Oh,
You
that's too
only
bad.
Yeah, you only have 5 seconds of extra wings.
Ugh.
And also what it does is like when you spend holy power, you explode and do like AoE holy damage.
Ooh.
Oh, is that good in PvP though? Like I always found.
I mean, you
Ta-
mainly want to play it for the extra 5 seconds on wings,
Okay.
which is really nice. Like the holy damage it does is not really big in PvP, because
Yeah.
all traits are halved in PvP.
Yeah.
They're only half as
Right.
effective.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like in PvE, people stack Light's Decree 3 times because it does lots of damage. Like it's almost your main damage even in PvE. Like the Light's Decree trait, it does crazy damage. But in PvP,
Okay.
it doesn't really do much. So you usually only want it once for the extra 5 seconds of wings duration.
Gotcha.
Then another good trait is Imperium Power. The one that like gives you a free Divine Storm proc.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
Like
saw
when it
that.
procs,
Little
it
John
decreases your
Deere.
next thing Divine Storm damage and also makes it free cost. So that's
Oh
pretty
wow. Okay.
good. Just besides that, there's only one more good trait I like to play sometimes, which is Indomitable Justice.
Yeah.
What it does is, depending on the HP difference from you and your target, it does like extra damage. Like a judgment does extra damage depending on the HP difference. Like let's say if you're like 100% HP and the enemy is like 20%, your judgment will do like way more damage.
Oh,
It's really
Which is pretty
nifty.
nice.
Yeah. You get some,
that
some
sounds really.
as Crusader would say, some big damn judge. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like to play it
Yes.
especially into like range, like when I know okay I will get kited here a lot, so my main damage will be judgment because I won't really be in melee range at all. That's when I like to play 3 times judgment trait, like the Indomitable Justice.
Right.
Just have like as much range damage as possible. And
to
yeah,
know.
these are like the only traits I really use and my favorite ones.
Okay.
No, makes sense. That sounds similar to a lot of the other classes that we've talked to, where it's like there's one you stack, one that's another possible, and then there's like another one or two depending on which items you end up going with. But it seems very similar, where they seem to have they designed the system where you'd be stacking something.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always like for every class there's like one trait that's really good and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
just stack that 3 times.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
one try to rule them all.
That's right. For real though. But
you were mentioning Sorry, you were mentioning about the stat and how mastery is important. What just because you were talking about it, what's the stat weighting? What are you looking for stats?
I mean, in PvP, you mainly want Versa, and usually as a second stat, want Haste. But Haste and Mastery, in my opinion, have like equal weight. Like, it's not bad if you have like a Versa Mastery piece. Like, it's not bad at all. Like, Mastery is also a decent stat. I just prefer Haste because I like if you play without Haste, it feels really, really bad because your globals are really long, your spells are on a longer cooldown.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
usually I like Haste as a second stat. And you want Versus as a main stat, obviously, because it's simply the best PvP stat. Makes you tankier, makes you do more damage,
Of course.
makes you heal more.
Is there a soft cap on the haste, or is it just like as much haste as you can just keep going?
I mean, you want mainly Versa, like you want Versa heavy items, and
Okay.
you want like Haste as a second stat. But I usually aim for like 18, maybe 20% haste. And
Okay.
if you reach that, like it's fine. Then you can just go full verse. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
versatility is just your best stat.
Right. It's
In
too good for
PvP,
everybody.
it's different though. I think in PvP, in PvE, you go full mastery. But yeah, it's another
Yeah.
thing.
Seems like a pattern with a lot of classes. In PvE, you want full mastery. In PvP,
Yeah.
you want full verse. So
Yeah, PvP is just a king stat. I mean, verse is just a king stat in PvP.
yeah, it's true.
Yes.
It's true. All right, so let's talk about the essences. So, what are you running on major, and what kind of minors are you playing with, and do you change those at all?
I play Reaping Flames Major a lot of the times, like
Okay.
Breath of the Dying, because
Yeah.
like it does really good. Like since you stack versatility as a red and like full versatility corruptions, your breath does actually lots of damage. Like it's really bursty, and again, it's a range spell, so it's another range button you have to kill
Yeah.
people from range, which is always good as a red paladin. You struggle to keep up with targets.
Yeah.
Then also what I like to play as a major sometimes too is Vision, the one that like procs abilities. Like for
Yeah.
Red as example, it procs wings, which can be really good
Yeah.
in some
Okay.
cases.
So you can
Like-
essentially have three different wings that you could play around. A random one,
Yeah.
the hammer of whatever righteousness or whatever, and then your actual wings. So you could be
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the fake Jabate, the real Jabate, and then like the
Yeah.
actual wings. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and if you get lucky with Vision, it can be really insane. Like as example, also it's insane with Crusade because when
Oh, wow,
when you
yeah.
when you have Crusade up and
Oh.
it procs, it just prolongs the Crusade. So you keep the stacks. You don't have to refresh.
Oh my
You keep the
goodness.
stacks. So if you get really lucky and you just keep rocking it while you have wings up, like, you can just like win the game within a minute.
Does it
If you're
cap
lucky and
out? You cap out at 30 stacks, right?
I mean, it caps at 10 stacks, but the
Oh, okay.
duration just gets increased when it procs.
Okay, okay.
Like it lasts longer and longer, and then you
Oh
can
my
like
gosh,
have
that's
wings up.
hilarious.
Yeah, but
That feels
like,
really
Vision
good.
can like it's really RNG, of course. Like I have arena games where I don't proc it for like 5 minutes straight,
Ugh.
where I'm like, I like the game ended and I still didn't get a proc, and then there's games where I proc like 5 times in a row and win the game of it. Like it's just really RNG. That's why I usually like only sometimes play it,
Yeah.
and I only play it into stuff where I like have high uptime, of course,
Yeah.
because otherwise it won't proc as much. 'Cause
Right.
you don't get to hit.
For sure.
And yeah, and another major I like is of course conflict major, because besides like getting the armband freedom baseline as an honor talent, what it also does is when you're stunned, it like buffs the defensive value of versatility, so you take like less damage when you're stunned, pretty much. Like
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Nice.
like really good into like when you play into comps that kill you in stuns, like example rogue teams. Then you could just play that and be tankier in stuns.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
on top of that, you get like the armband freedom honor talent baseline as well.
Nice.
And that's like the major essences I mainly play with.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, and we talked about the corruptions as well. You like to stack the versatility, and that's going to be what you're doing. So let's jump into something here. So one of the big questions we always ask everyone is, how do we kill you?
I mean, as a cast, usually like the big weakness for Reds is caster cleaves, like casters in general usually destroy Reds because we don't have really any magic defensive. Like we have like Blessing of Protection besides Bubble, but that's only physical, of course. So against melees, we have like we have plate armor, so we're a bit tankier against melees in general. Then we have Blessing of Protection on top of that. But into casters, we don't really have anything, and our limited mobility also makes it pretty easy for the casters to like actually get their casts off on us and kite us and kill us before we can like get back to the pillar or something.
Right.
And yeah, you want to like, I don't know, like Reds are pretty hard as melee cleaves, I believe. Like as melee, I think Reds can be a tough target to kill. But as a caster, you pretty much always get focus as a Red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know, like how to kill, kind of hard to tell. Like, I don't know. Like
Kill.
just do damage.
After I bubble, yeah, right.
Yeah, like you can also look for like sometimes Ret Paladins bubble offensively because they think they can land a kill, and then they might not land a kill, and then you can look for that. Oh, look, the Pally bubbled offensive. We can swap onto him. Or like if he wasted Shield of Vengeance, like some Reds will just press it because it's also good damage, you know, when it explodes.
Right.
And it's usually a big defensive for them too. Like it's their only defensive besides bubble. So if you see them, they don't have it because they randomly pressed it. You can also like swap to them and maybe kill them because of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, awesome.
That's awesome.
So, Gerissar, you do
apologize.
this.
I was making a bunch of faces while you guys were talking because we were running another beta key giveaway while you guys were talking, and apparently Nightbot doesn't have filters. So it took a while until we actually got somebody that wasn't staff. It was pretty funny. I highly recommend anybody who's listening right now, stop, go check out the VOD around this time frame, and it's pretty funny actually. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I'm looking
funny.
back at it now. Nightbot, why?
Yeah. Nightbot was trolling Ketra pretty hard.
Yes. Congratulations, Mahortai.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I think he kind of talked a little bit about comps as well. What kind of comps are you normally looking to play with? You said you like to play Holy Sub or Holy Pally Sub and Ret, which is a bit of an off the wall comp, but seems to work well for you. What other kind of comps would you expect or would you recommend people to try?
I mean, from what I've seen on the ladder and like from streams when I watch like people face other high-rated Reds, it's like the main comps Red Paladins play and have the most success with, it seems like, is Red Arms Warrior with usually a Resto Shaman or a Heal Monk.
Okay.
Like Red Arms Warrior is like, it's a really tanky comp, like with the Warrior peeling and the Red Paladin off heals and Sanks and Blessing of Protections. It can be a really defensive comp too, like they can live long and they have lots of, like they have crazy good damage. Like the Warrior has the big Mortal Strike effect, like 50% healing reduction. When he puts that on a target that the red is bursting, like it can just die because you can't heal it. Like it's a really very scary comp too that can just blow you up. And then another good red comp I've seen is Red Hunter Disc, the classic that most people play.
Red Row.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Cupid.
Yeah,
right?
Cupid Cleave or like PHP, like both these names for
Yeah.
the comp.
Yeah.
That's what also really good because of the damage you have again, and we also have really good CC with Forge Trap and Fear. So that makes it a really good comp too. And what I've also seen people play, like as example, Red Destro with a Resto Shaman or a Heal Monk again, like with a Destrolog, seems to be really good too. Like that comp is really tanky, and they have scary burst. Like the Warlock, like the Destruction Warlock burst plus Wings can be really scary.
Oh yeah.
And Also, from what I've played, I didn't really see other people play it, but Red Sub is a really fun comp. Like, I played with a Disc Priest and a Holy Pally. It works with both healers. Like, Red Sub is a really fun comp, but no one really seems to play it.
The Scooby-Doo, yeah.
And yeah, Scooby-Doo is what people call it. And besides that, I also played Red Feral Disc, which was really fun to play too.
Oh, that'd be
Because,
fun.
like, 2 hybrid classes, you have like lots of healing because it's a Feral and a whole Red Paladin. You have lots of CC if you play Repentant and Cyclone.
Oh.
It's really nice. It's really fun to play too. What I've been played, and yeah, I think you can play Red with pretty much anything. It's like the class, you can make work with any class. I feel like.
Yeah.
Because I also played like Red DK, like Red Frost DK, and that comp is really scary too. Because I don't know if you guys know how Frost DK works in PvP, but what you want to do as Frost DK is basically try to get people stacked and press your chill streak on a talent. And what chill streak does is like it jumps between targets, and every time it jumps, it does like percentage-based damage.
Yeah.
And so if you keep targets together, it just keeps jumping and it does lots of damage. So what we do as Red Frost DK is like we grip the healer in on top of a DPS. I hotch him up, and then he just
chill streaks.
Chill streak, and we have lots of burst damage. And
Watch
just
how they melt.
Yeah, that was a really fun comp to play as well. But yeah, these are like the best comps like I've seen and I've played.
Okay.
Did you mention
But
Cupid?
Yeah, I mentioned Cupid.
Okay.
Like one of the best comps probably.
Yeah.
Like Red Arms and Cupid are probably the best comps.
Okay.
But of course you can play other comps too and have success with it.
Wonderful.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Andallyn, I'm going to give you the pleasures of the famous question.
All right, Pika. So here we go, man. You're sitting in. We'll change it up. You're gonna call on your cell phone. All right. You pick it up.
Oh God.
It's your boy Ian, and he's like, "Hey, man. We want to know what is one thing that you would change about Retribution Paladin." He goes on to tell you, we don't really care whether or not people want to do it or see it done, or whether it's, plausible. As long as it's possible for us to do this, we'll do it. What is the one thing that you would change about Retribution Paladin?
Ooh, that's a really tough question.
I know, right? Gerissar, you want to go first to give him some time?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
One thing I would change about So I think there's one thing I would change for sure, and I wish that there was a way to interrupt a paladin when they bubble hearth.
Shattering throw.
I'm really sick and tired of them running away. Them starting a fight and then trying to run away with this cheesy bubble hearth thing. I wish there was something in the game that would stop them from being able to hearth, or I don't want to have to play a warrior to have shattering throw just to be able to get through the bubble.
So Divine Shield increases the cast time of Hearthstone by 20%.
That would sound great. Yes, or 100%. Even
100%. It's a 20-second cast.
yeah. Make bubble a channel, so if they want a hearth, they have to drop the bubble.
Oh,
there you go. 100% right there.
Nice. Okay.
I like it.
Pika, are you ready, or do you want me to go?
You can go first.
Okay.
You go first.
Okay.
I'll think a bit more.
So mine's a little cheese. It's not specific to Retribution Paladins, but I think it very much applies still to the Ret Paladins. So the one thing that I would change is I would want for you to be able to go onto your talents and be able to check a box that says display player versus player tooltips. So essentially, that would be, it's now going to show me whether or not it's 20% in PvP or actually 15% in PvP. I want to see these.
yeah.
I want to see the PvP nerfed abilities, like, up front. I don't want to have to find out and be like, oh, well, that's why this ability is not really doing what I thought it'd be doing.
What do you mean repentance is only for 6 seconds?
Yeah, what the hell, dude? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, actually.
So it's not really specific to Ret Paladins, but it applies in a lot of ways because Ret Paladins do have a lot of those abilities that have those kind of behind the scenes truncations or changes as far as what's actually happening in PvP.
Indeed.
All right, man, you're up. One thing you would change about Ret Paladins, let's hear it.
Ooh, this is so hard, but I think, like, one thing I would love to change about Reds, like, there's two things. Like, one thing would be, like, nerf the burst damage a little bit and give us a bit more consistent damage, so we're not absolutely useless outside of wings.
Yeah.
That would be great. But I think the thing I would care more about would be the mobility, of course.
Yeah.
So what I would like to see make a comeback would be maybe, if you guys remember in Mob, you had a spell as a red called Emancipate. That it was basically a non-cooldown spell. When you press it, it removed any snares and slows and roots of you, and you could just spam it. So you're pretty much not slowable as a red. You could dispel yourself out of slows all the time.
Mm.
I would love that together with Long Arm of the Law. If you guys remember that too, it was a talent in Mob. When you press
Sounds familiar.
Judgment, you got a short sprint, like a 45% sprint for 3 seconds.
Cool.
Like with these spells together, like these two spells, I think red mobility would be really good. Like it would help a lot.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like the useless wheelchairs we are right now.
Make Ret Paladins flag carriers again.
Oh. Again?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. I don't know, or at least just Long Arm of the Law if Emancipate is too OP.
Mm-hmm.
Like just something. And I've never been really a big fan of the horse because it's really easy to play.
Why
around
don't
in
you
PvP.
Why don't you make Judgment a grapple?
Or something like that, yeah, like something like a gap closer, like something
Yeah.
that helps you to connect to the target.
Judgment is a grapple. It's like Thor's hammer, except you go to the hammer instead of Thor. Like they're coming back to you.
Demon Hunters have that, like they have Fell Blades,
Yeah.
which is like a 10-second cooldown charge that also has a chance to reset its cooldown. Like they can basically permanently charge at you.
Right.
And I don't think Demon Hunters need that.
No.
To be honest. They have enough
No.
Yeah, of course they do. They're a hero class. I'm being silly.
Imagine if Reds had that. That would be amazing.
Oh my gosh. I like Divine Furies in chat. Make freedom not dispellable.
Yeah, I mean we kind of have that, but I guess you have to pick an auto talent.
Or
for that.
spell stealable. Yeah.
Unbound Freedom makes it undispellable, but yeah, it's
Right.
not baseline, of course. You have to pick it as
Right.
an auto talent.
Exactly.
But yeah, just
Alright.
something about the mobility would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems. I think I get the idea behind a bunch of plate class. Same with DKs. They're very slow, immobile. But that kind of breaks in lore because you have these warriors that are able to jump around and charge and blink. It's almost blinking across the map in some ways.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, it's like, wait for me.
Yeah, and at least the DKs have kind of a slow protection because they can't be slowed below 70% movement speed
Yeah.
as a passive. And they also have grip as a gap close, like they can grip targets to themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
And they have
Get over here.
spammable, they have a spammable, undispellable, 70% slow. Like we have a slow too, but it's a high cooldown and it's dispellable on top of that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
DKs
get it.
are
I get
slow
it.
too, but at least they have the tools to keep targets at them,
Right.
Yeah.
which we don't really
Unlike
have with the red.
you don't. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So,
Yeah.
chat, let us know. Some of you already have, but let us know what the one thing you would change about Ret Paladin. I saw, a couple you mentioned, bring, was it Divine Fury back, or Divine Intervention back. Okay, yeah, there you go. So let us know what you'd like to see, what your ideas are for the one thing you would change. Gerissar, let's talk about our PvP news.
All right. Who ordered up an extra large can of whoop ass?
So tell us about what's new in the PvP news.
I want to, but right before I do that, I want to give away one more key.
Ooh.
So we gave one away there while everybody was talking. This time I'm going to say it in chat or verbally. So chat, get active. So when the moderators roll one last time, they get more than themselves. So I'll give it to chat a few minutes to liven up a little bit. Everybody who says something in chat will be automatically entered into the next beta key draw. And then let's actually talk about WoW PvP news. So our friends over at Ready Raider, we talked to them last episode. Speaking of which, we're still trying to figure out what happened to that one. Apparently, not just our VOD, but a bunch of other VODs on September the 1st all got botched over at Twitch. So, but they actually finished their 3v3 tournament last weekend. And I want to give a huge congrats there to Cunning D, Venoms, and SRB over on the Alliance side of Harad for winning. Apparently, they just steamrolled through the whole tournament and did a great job. So congratulations to them. And then, let's see here. There's the Classic Duelers League, which just ended today. And a huge congrats on their 3v3 tournament to the team Woo Lads. So that's Leximic, Nain, and JFat for winning that one. And let's see what else. Well, we talked briefly about the beta news with the changes to the PvP vendors. And they also confirmed that they're going to be able to change soul binds during the preparation phases, which I think is really awesome. I'm not surprised though, because you can do the same thing with currently with the Heart of Bazaroth, where you can change your neck pieces and all that, and your essences and that, right?
Right.
So that makes sense. And then so then there's the hot fixes there. Not too major for PvP stuff. I don't know, nothing really popped out at me for that one, but as always, there's some stuff changes on the PvE side which affects us anyways. But it seems like they're just winding down on a few of the items, a few of the quests and whatnot, and just making sure some things are working that have been probably broken since for whatever reasons. But that's about it.
Yeah.
All right.
And we have our beta news. Did you talk about the beta
Pardon
news? You talk about the beta news with the blue post? I mean, we had kind of mentioned it already about how they were going to reconsider some of the PvP vendor stuff to include all the stat combinations possible, and some of the good news that we'd gotten on that front.
I just glazed over it since we already talked about it, but if you want to talk about it, go for it.
No, I think we covered it enough. If you haven't checked it out, it's a great little post. It talks a little bit about what their intentions are on your abilities and your capabilities. I want you to be able to have to swap covenants and what they're kind of going for with their intentions on, like, we want it to be a major decision that you undertake as, your character undertakes. Whatever your opinion is, voice it, try to think about it from a perspective of you, and how you feel about the game. Don't just like say, oh yeah, I'm going to subscribe to, this other person's opinion because they're popular, or like, I like their commentary on the game, or I want to get behind the hashtag. Like, think about what your opinion is behind it. If you have beta, play into it a little bit, and just remember, guys, the game, whether or not Shadowlands is good, is not going to pivot on this. So it'll be okay. We'll have a great time. So,
indeed.
Yep. So moving on, that's our PvP news.
It's a really short news week.
Yeah, it is.
I was a little disappointed. Pika, do you have anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to Trille Bottom. He's a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's also a big streamer, like he's a PvP streamer on Twitch. And he helped me grow my Twitch channel. He helped me with my stream a lot. He supported me a lot. And I kind of owe him my stream, basically.
It's
Like,
awesome.
he helped me a lot with that. And yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, to Trilly Bottom. Cool.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good to have friends like that. It's good to have. It sounds like you've had quite a great number of friends. The friends that have the friends that have helped you with the keybinds and just helped you improve, and then friends that have helped you with your
Yeah.
with your Twitch channel, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really great. Like, friends are important.
They are. I wish I had friends.
But you gotta have friends.
Instead, I have Andallyn.
Whoa.
It was helping me spell names that I'm spelling wrong. All right.
We
Andallyn,
all need somebody.
who do you have to shout out? Obviously not me.
I'm gonna shout out to my boy Peter and our awesome GM friend Tuska, who's been farming gold with us, and he like,
Oh, nice.
I'm pretty sure he's a GM because he like just spawns up like nodes out of nowhere, and it's actually a legendary. So big shout out to him. It's awesome to have friends from Blizzard. So yeah.
Clearly, he's.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Has he offered you his 1 year or his 25-year
Yeah.
friendship code?
no.
Not yet. Okay.
He's cool, but he's not that cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that cool. All right.
Yes.
Speaking of friends that are that cool, I have to give a shout out to you there, Andallyn. Sitting down with me and helping me get OBS up and fixated for doing the tournament that I wanted to do. You definitely saved what little hair I have left on my head. So I wanted to thank you very much.
You bet, buddy.
And I just want to remind people, if there's anybody that wants to be part of the Warcraft Radio staff and give a hand in all the great things that are happening over here, go over check it out over at warcraftradio.com. There's a link for Join Us. They're looking for a number of talented people to help in the in the back scenes there as well. Be it helping with some of the web stuff, helping with some of the production stuff, or whatever the case may be. So please go check that out. And to all you people that are absolutely amazing and awesome, being part of the Patreon or just following and subscribing to the Warcraft Radio Twitch channel, thank you, everybody. And everybody who just listens to us ramble every other week. I just thank you very much.
Yeah.
Truly a shout out to you all. You are the other co-host. So, last but not least, Pikachu, where can our listeners find you on the wide world web?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitter/Pika Pala, Pika_Pala. You can also find me on Twitch, where I stream almost every day, twitch.tv/Pika_Pala.
Alright.
And yeah. That's
Simple
where
and
you can
easy.
find me.
Awesome. And like I mentioned before, I'll make sure that we have those links in the show notes. Andallyn, can you list off where the listeners can find us?
Absolutely. You can visit the Warcraft Radio website to find us in many other great shows, including the You Think You Do But You Don't and the It's Always Sunny in Azeroth shows at warcraftradio.com. You can also directly contact us directly with a tweet to @technically_PvP, or you can always email us at technically, that's weird. I have to say at and then at again. Email at us to technicallypvp@gmail.com. Am I doing this right?
Live editing our show notes right
Yeah, there you go.
You can also join our discussions on the Warcraft Radio Discord. Links for all these will be in the show notes. I want to thank everyone for listening, and we'll chat with you next time. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.